I keep my goals to myself, cause whenever I share it with folks, they get a look upon their face and their memory floats to a time where their goals and the stars ain't...
What's good? We're going to get into TNA Impact from July the 30th, 2026. This was an okay episode of TNA Impact. This was live. There was a small bit of competition with Collision. They just went head-to-head for the last hour Collision, which is from 9 to 10. So I do expect for that to play some kind of a role in the ratings when they come out for next week, which I still think the ratings will be fine. The ratings for July have been really good, especially for the last 2 weeks. Just last week when they did the Righteous Deletion, that drew 307K viewers, which was great. That's tremendous. That's the highest it's ever done. And in the 18 to 49 demographic, they drew a 0.05, which is great. So very good stuff. And then the week prior to that, they drew 286K. So they've done very good for the last few weeks. I mean, the last couple weeks for the month of July, which is fine. So really good stuff there. The ratings may take a little bit of a hit for next week. This really wasn't really that strong of a show, even though they ended up doing a title change here. Jason Hotch is now the new TNA International Champion, which is fine. I'm pretty sure Mustafa Ali will win it back at Lockdown. They are beginning to build the card out for that. They actually have announced a few matches for Lockdown. And again, like I said before, I don't like the concept of Lockdown, how every single match is in a steel cage. I feel like that should be done for like at least basically factions. And that should basically be it. You should have like one or two steel cage matches. And that's kind of it. It shouldn't be every single match inside of a steel cage. But it is what it is. TNA continues to lose talent, so apparently it seems like Mara Sade is on her way out. Her contract with TNA is up, which sucks. I don't know how long her deal was, probably just 6 months. And to my knowledge, as of right now, she hasn't re-signed. There's a possibility she could re-sign, but I doubt it. I'm pretty sure AEW is knocking down at her door, or either WWE, one of the two. And she'll be fine. You know, it's fine. I hope she ends up re-signing, but I doubt Mara Sade will. I don't think she will. I think both WWE and AEW are going to offer her a buttload of money either way, and she'll be there. So it's fine. It is what it is. She is the one who I picked to win the Knockouts television tournament. But that is no longer going to happen, basically. Because I got a feeling that TNA is probably going to make her an offer, but she's just going to refuse it. So there's that. As per usual, TNA needs talent. So the 90-day compete clauses are up. They've been up for about a week now, so it's fine. Motor City Machine Guns, they showed up in AEW. They showed up on Collision and everything, so, you know, we already knew that's where they were going. I wouldn't be shocked if AEW ends up bringing in the New Day as well, because Meltzer put out a report where there was going to be, I think, 7 signings that Tony Khan was going to bring in, 7 new signings. So he brought in 2 of the 7 in Motor City Machine Guns. 4 makes the New Day. 5 would make Kairi Sane, and probably 6 would be Sheamus. And I don't know who would number 7 be. Maybe Zelina Vega, but I doubt it. I could definitely see Zelina Vega and Aleister Black showing up in TNA, because they probably have an axe to grind. But those are like basically the 7 people who I could see going in. Like I said, Motor City Machine Guns, they're already there. New Day's coming on in, probably around All In. Sheamus will come in eventually as well. So that makes 5. Kyrie makes 6, and I don't know who number 7 would be. But those are the 6 out of 7 new signings that Tony will basically make. And he's already got, 2 of them in the Motor City Machine Guns. Am I happy for them? Yes. Are they going to do much of anything? Probably not. Them being on Collision doesn't really mean anything. Collision is it's not a good show. It's actually bad. So, there's that. They're just there just to make a quick buck, basically. They're on their way out. They are older versions of the Young Bucks. And that's really what they are. I like Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. They're work rate guys. So, I mean, they fit AEW. They fit TNA when they were there. So, there's that. And it could be that, maybe they're sticking around for a year or two and then they'll probably end up, going back to TNA maybe eventually. So, you never know. So, yeah. All right, let's go ahead and get into this show. So, we kicked the show off with the first match of the night. Leon Slater and Ricky Sosa. They defeat the System in Eddie Edwards and Cedric Alexander. I love what they are doing with both Leon and Ricky. They're pushing the young talent, which the two major companies, AEW and WWE, are not doing, and they need to because it's a fucking shame. So Leon Slater got the win. He ended up beating Cedric Alexander. So, there's that. This is fine. I actually like this. So Leon Slater gets on the mic post-match to taunt Cedric Alexander. He said since he pinned the champ, he wants a title shot. Not only that, Leon Slater wants it inside a steel cage at Lockdown. So that's fine. I actually do like that. Moving on from that, this leads us into Mustafa Ali. He asked John Skyler to deliver a message to the rest of Order 4. So, Skyler turns around, face level into Milla Moore's chest. She's got some big titties, which is great. That's fucking awesome. So, really good camera shot there. And then he completely forgot the message, which was funny as fuck. So, Mustafa Ali told Milla Moore to gather Order 4 ringside with the order that nobody gets involved in his title defense against Jason Hotch. Okay, that's fine. Moving on from that, this leads us into Daria Ray. She insults the people of Philadelphia. The hometown man, a.k.a. Diener, showed up to told her to shut her mouth. He hyped up Mustafa Ali versus Jason Hotch as the main event. So, there's that. He likened it to Apollo Creed and Rocky Balboa. Just like Rocky, he thinks that Jason Hotch will win the gold. Daria stated that Rocky sucks, and then she exited the scene. Then Diener pumped up the crowd with hopes of the fact that LeBron James will bring home a championship for the 76ers. And there was this funny gag that TNA did where they were trolling the Philadelphia fans thinking that LeBron James was going to show up. You got to laugh at that. That's hilarious as fuck. It is. Like, there is no way in hell LeBron James was ever going to show up in TNA, ever. So it was a good publicity stunt. The only wrestling ring I could see LeBron James actually showing up in would be WWE, and that's it. That's it, right? Other than that, no. AEW, you can forget it. Like, come on. No. But definitely WWE for sure. And if and when WWE goes back to Philadelphia, I wouldn't be shocked if we see LeBron James in the crowd or whatever. And that could be a possibility. All right, so moving on from that leads us into the Elegance brand. They're ready to get the tag team titles back. and then they'll win the TV title. It'll be the Empire of Elegance. Heather questioned whether the personal concierge, what happens if she meets M in the tournament finals. The personal concierge changed the subject on focusing on the tag titles. Okay, that's fine there. Good shit. Moving on from that, TNA, they did a thing for Rebel, who has terminal LAS, which is awful. It's one of the most debilitating diseases a individual can have, and it's just sad. So we send our thoughts and prayers to her and her family, and it's just sad. Hopefully, maybe there's like a GoFundMe that she has, and if you want to donate, you can donate. But this is serious business, and it's sad. So good on TNA for doing that. I'm pretty sure WWE will probably do the same eventually. So, there's that. Moving on from that, this leads us into Indi Hartwell defeating Thea Hale. She advanced in the Knockouts Television Championship quarterfinal, which is fine. This match was okay. I'm a big fan of Thea Hale. She's great. I like what she's doing. Indi winning, that makes sense, I guess. Who really gives a shit? We all knew Thea Hale wasn't going to win anyway, so whatever. Moving on from that, this leads us into AJ Francis. He took up a collection for the injured expressions. He approached Rich Swann and BDE looking for gratitude for making them money. They scoffed at AJ Francis, and then he pocketed a handful of cash, which was hilarious. I like this. This is hilarious. Again, I love the character work of AJ Francis. Not a fan of his in-ring work, but character work, yes, good shit. Moving on from that, this leads us into Casey Navarro. He said that he failed the biggest opportunity of his career, losing to Nick Nemeth for the TNA World Championship. He felt pity for himself about not being good enough. Then his attitude changed into never quitting. Casey Navarro says that he belongs in TNA, and he wants to be an inspiration. His story is just beginning. So, Casey Navarro gets interrupted by the system. They ignore him and take over his promo time in the ring. Cedric declined Leon Slater's demand for an X Division title match. So Navarro got involved instead of for himself, and then the system beat him up. And then Fabian Eichner, Ricky Sosa, and Leon Slater came out to make the save. So, there is that. Good stuff there. I like that. Good shit. Again, I am a fan of new guys. I'm a fan of Leon Slater. I'm a fan of Ricky Sosa, right? Push these young guys, right? Push them. And I still think that Leon Slater, the plan for him is to be world champion going into Bound for Glory. I do think that he'll win the world title at Bound for Glory. I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to pull the trigger, and I can't wait for that. And I do think that he'll probably end up winning the X Division Championship, doing Option C. And I do think Ricky Sosa will get the X Division Championship at Bound for Glory as well. So I do think they're going to end up giving those young brothers gold heading into at Bound for Glory. So, there's that. Moving on from that, Allie is backstage frantically searching for Rosemary. Daria said that their match is next, so they're going to have to forfeit the tag titles. So Allie said that she'll just fight, even if she's going to be outnumbered. Okay, that's fine. Moving on, Frankie Kazarian, his sorry ass was on this show. He insulted the Philly crowd while wearing a Pittsburgh Steelers colors. He shed optimism that LeBron James signed to the 76ers. That team will have more flops than any team in the history of the NBA. So, there's that. Who cares? Not really all that important. Zaya Brookside attacked Elena Black because she's tired of her running her mouth. Elena Black isn't as good as she claims, which is true. Elena Black couldn't even advance in the TV title tournament. Wendy Chu, she showed up. She called Xia Brookside a coward to her face. Santino got involved to book Xia Brookside versus Wendy Chu for next week for the Knockouts Championship. Okay, whatever. That's fine. And then Elena Black showed up. Elena Black doesn't care about wrestling at all, period. She doesn't give a fuck about it at all. So whenever her contract is up, I think, which is in January of next year, she's done. Because she only signed like a year deal with TNA. So she's done. She might do some indie work after. She might re-sign, but I doubt it. So, whatever. Moving on from that, Ali ends up getting DQ'd. She ended up beating up the personal concierge and M and H by Elegance. So she ended up beating them up. Okay, that's fine. So the match was thrown out. It doesn't matter. We don't know what happened to Rosemary. This is probably just an angle. Because I don't see Rosemary leaving TNA. Like where would she go? Like, unless she's going to NXT, which I doubt she would. I mean, she's been on the product before, but I don't see her going there. So we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. Moving on from that, this leads us into Elijah. He was out, and he was he was out to sing the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song, which is pretty cool. So yeah, there's that. All right, moving on. This leads us into the Hardyz. They were on this show. They returned as the Goats from Righteous Deletion. So, they said that they were reborn to be the, my bad. They said that they were reborn in the lake to be the greatest tag team in the history of professional wrestling. So, Nick Nemeth showed up, and along with his little bro, Brian. So, they claim to be the best brother tag team of all time. So, the Nemeths, they issued a challenge for the titles at Lockdown. So Matt said that he was game. Santino Marella showed up to make it official. And then he booked Nick to defend the world title against Jeff Hardy and Ryan to wrestle Matt next week. So, there's that. It doesn't really matter, so whatever. And then Amy Garcia, she showed up and she threw a drink in the face of Ryan Nemeth and slapped him. So, whatever. Who cares? I don't give a shit about this. Whatever. We've seen this before anyway. The Hardys and the Nemeths, they faced before. So, I believe they faced earlier this year. Or was it last year? I want to say it was earlier this year they faced each other. And I'm shocked that the Righteous and Hardy feud lasted for like 8 months. I'm like, what the fuck? That's insane. Damn. Moving on, this leads us into AJ Francis. He was still collecting cash on behalf of Expressions. So, Diener said that he's tapped out. He's got a number of cash from the bar bill. So, AJ Francis then slipped in another LeBron James insult. LeBron James would rather live in New York City and helicopter and get a helicopter back and forth from Philly than spend one night in this dump. So Elijah stepped in, and him and AJ had some words. AJ banned him for the tombstone on Expressions. Elijah claims it was self-defense. And then Elijah, my bad, AJ Francis threatened to beat some respect into Elijah at Lockdown. Whatever, okay, that's fine. Moving on. Leon Slater ended up pumping up the crowd. They called them the best fans on the planet. So, whatever. Who cares about that? A fan's gonna get to take a picture with the new X Division champion. I mean, no, not the X Division champion, but the new TNA International champion after the show. So that's cool there, I guess. Whatever. Moving on from that. So, Santino, he was backstage with Daria. She said she didn't like the Knockouts tag finish, so she booked the rematch for Lockdown. Daria is also looking to trim the fat on the roster. She noticed that Harley Hudson hasn't won a match in months. Santino supported Harley for her love of TNA and positivity in the locker room. Daria didn't care, and she'll speak to the board about turning Harley's contract. This is dumb. Like, there's no need to even bring this into a storyline or whatever. People are leaving TNA, like, left and right. They just lost Mike Santana. They're about to lose Mara Sade. Like, they just lost Harley's tag team partner. They lost her. So they're losing people left and right. And they're actually doing this as a storyline, which is fucking stupid. But whatever. I don't give a shit. They'll eventually bring in new talent anyway. They're not going under. There's not going to be a sale. Moving on, my bad. Jada Stone defeated Jody Threat. So she advances. That's fine. Whatever. Main event of the evening, Jason Hotch defeated Mustafa Ali to win the TNA International Championship. So towards the end of the match, the order for it, they turned their backs on Mustafa Ali. So, there's that. Hotch got the win via a frog splash for the 1, 2, 3. So there's that. This is fine. I actually do like this. Even though I'm not a fan of Jason Hotch. But it is what it is. It's fine. They basically did the CM Punk, Sami Zayn thing. Darby Allin thing that, everyone's been doing as of late. Oh, well, you're in your hometown, so you're going to win a championship. So, whatever. It's fine. Do I think he'll be a transitional champion? Yes, Jason Hotch will be a transitional champion, which is fine. It's going to happen. It's always happened throughout wrestling, time in a memorial. So, there's that. Who gives a shit? I expect for Mustafa Ali to regain the title, to recapture it at Lockdown, more than likely. So, he'll be champion for 3 weeks. Order 4 needs to disband anyway. So, there's that. TNA does need to bring in new talent. Again, this show was kind of so-so. It wasn't really that strong of a show, so whatever. But it happens. We'll see how it does in the ratings. But what did you guys think of the show? Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.